All right, guys, let's talk about the fragrances that I always reach for. The ones that I can't stop wearing, that I really, really love. The ones that I always come back to. I've got 20 fragrances here, and that's exactly what these fragrances are. Ones that I'm obsessed with, and I keep coming back to, the ones that I'm always reaching for. These are some fragrances that date back a long time ago, but most of them are fairly new, so there are not a lot of old fragrances here. But there's one that dates back to the 80s. The rest of them are from the 2000s and on. And awesome fragrances that I'm obsessed with, that I've spoken a lot about, and I'm going to tell you what they are today. As I said, these are the ones that I always reach for. Let's start off with the first fragrance. It's Jusbox's 54. I've gone through so many bottles of this, really love the way it smells, and it also garners me compliments. I actually just wore this, and I went to Neiman Marcus. I went to our Neiman Marcus and went to the restaurant for a meeting I had. And I was going up the escalator. I had piled on a ton of this stuff on, a lot. I'm an oversprayer. And there was a guy that was riding on the escalator behind me, and right away, "What fragrance is that you're wearing?" I said, "It's called 54. He goes, "Who makes that fragrance?" I said, "It's Jusbox." "Where can I find it?" ZGO Perfumery, I said. But it's a fragrance that I'm so proud of because I worked on it, but also it's an awesome smelling fragrance that I can't stop wearing. It's patchouli focused, but with a creaminess and booziness and warm spiciness. There's a milky effect happening, and when it dries down to a chocolate milk effect on my skin. But man, if you want a trail, if you want compliments, this is gonna get them. Maybe it's a bit polarizing because patchouli is probably not for everybody. But if you're a patchouli lover, you must get your nose on it. It's not super duper gourmand. It's not super duper sweet, but there is that chocolate milky effect that's happening, that's spiced up with the cinnamon and boozed up with the rum and the pina colada, which the pina colada, since it has the coconut, creates a very milky dry down because it also has sandalwood in the dry down. Of course, vanilla. Super amazing fragrance. One of my all-time favorites now. And I'm so proud of it, as I said, 54 from Jusbox. Let me know your thoughts on that fragrance. It's one of the ones that I always reach for, as I said. I keep coming back to that. And it was a couple of weeks since I had worn it, and I wore it, and right away I got a compliment. And in a department store where there's a lot of fragrances that are sold there. So the next fragrance that I keep coming back to is a fairly older fragrance. And I've got two versions of it. You probably know what I'm talking about already. But let me open them out of the box because I keep them in the box because it is discontinued. But it is probably the only discontinued fragrance I'm going to talk to you about. This is Dior Homme Parfum from 2014. As you can see, the bottle is got more glass than actual where the juice goes. It's a 75 ml bottle, by the way. And then this is the 100 ml version right here. So these are the two different versions or variations. And I've got a lot of backup of this. Even though I'm a little cautious, but I'm also wearing it quite a bit. It just is a very intoxicating fragrance, super awesome scent, and one that you definitely need to try. If you haven't tried it, I think you can find some alternatives, which I am going to do a video on alternatives of this fragrance because the new version from 2025 is a disappointment. But if you can get your hands on either the 2014 or the 2020 versions, amazing. The 2014 is the best, but I think the 2020 version comes fairly close. Maybe it's a bit thinner, but it's the most intoxicating combo of a powdery iris, a little floral notes, musky notes, ambrette, spices, leather, and a slight bit of an oudi effect, but I think that effect is fairly minuscule. But one of the best fragrances ever created. Sadly, it's discontinued, and well, the name is not discontinued. The fragrance itself is. Let's spray the 2020 version too. So it started out in 2014. It came after Dior first launched Eau Sauvage Parfum in 2012. I think it was late 2013. They launched Fahrenheit Parfum, and I bought my bottle in January of 2014. And by the middle of the year came in 2014, they launched Dior Homme Parfum, and I got my first bottle of Dior Homme Parfum December 2014. So I'm comparing it to the 100 ml version. I think they're very, very close. There's a little bit of a thinness between the two. And I think mostly that's basically it, but it's still powdery. It's pretty irisy. Maybe the leathery touches in the 2020 is also a little bit thinned out, but I'm obsessed with this DNA. It's so awesome. Definitely one of the best you should try. They're very close, just a little bit thinner, I think. Maybe a little bit less leathery as well. Maybe a little bit less rose, because I think there's a little bit of a rosiness in here, which creates that lipsticky makeup-y effect. So either way, I am talking about Dior Homme Parfum, one of the most worn fragrances of mine, the 2014 version and the 2020 version. Next up, it's Escentric Molecules Molecule 1. This is the new 200 ml bottle. I always forget if this is 200 ml or 150 ml. I keep forgetting. Anyway, it's a larger bottle. It's definitely not the 100 ml bottle. But this is the 20th year anniversary of Escentric Molecules launching Molecule 1. And it's one of the most minimalistic fragrances. I love it on its own when I don't want something complicated. Because fragrances can get complicated. Not challenging for me unless they're like super duper animalic fragrances. But when I want something simple, easy to go, easygoing fragrance, this is one I would pull for. If you're new to this, you might not smell it and come back to me and complain that it's just alcohol. But give it time, try it out. Maybe it might take you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. But you might be anosmic first. It might smell like alcohol. But to me, once you smell it, you can smell it really strong. And on people, you might get really sensitive to it because they use quite a bit of ISOE Super, which is a main ingredient in Escentric Molecules Molecule 1 that smells like cedar and a sandalwood combo. It's musky, it's woody, it's powdery, it's dry, and very sexy, I think. You can also layer it. You can use it as a layering or boosting tool. You can boost up fragrances, giving it like a woody edge. Super awesome scent. You've got to have this in your collection of fragrances. One of the best, I think, ideas in fragrances. I mean, it's not necessarily, who would have thought somebody would launch a fragrance with one ingredient called ISOE Super, which is basically a woody ingredient that's used a lot in base notes of fragrances, and it smells like cedarwood. A little bit of creamy sandalwood thrown in there as well. Because the fragrance, even though it's dry, does have a creamy edge to it. So that's Molecule 1 from Escentric Molecules. One that I wear a lot of, and I actually have a bottle at the house and here, so I'm never without it. And then we're going to talk about Portrait of a Lady. It's still a fragrance that I pull for quite a bit. Even though it's gotten thin and watered down by Estee Lauder, it's still a pretty beefy fragrance, you know? It's got some heft to it. But you can tell it's not identical to what it used to be. But I love the combo with the incense, the patchouli, the rose, the resins in the base, the fruitiness. It's so sexy. Really, really awesome. And one of the best fragrances ever created, I think. If you like the idea of patchouli, incense, resins like amber in the base, rose, raspberry fruitiness, definitely you gotta try this one. It was like, stop at your tracks, what the heck is that smell, kind of an experience for me. Because the first time I smelled it was in a store, and I didn't go to the fragrance. I just smelled the fragrance being sprayed from far away and reaching my nose, and I was like, damn, that's good. Portrait of a Lady is a masterpiece, as I said, one of Dominique Ropion's best creations. In fact, he'll probably be always remembered for Portrait of a Lady because it is a masterpiece. Up next, a newer one, and I've got a bottle at the house and one here. This is Vanilla Mudslide. And guys, Vanilla Mudslide should be coming back very soon again, so prepare yourselves if you still haven't been able to get a bottle, because the brand can't keep up producing this fragrance. I think it's the biggest seller in their whole entire repertoire of fragrances. We featured it in our Scent Club kit, and some people have written to me and said they bought 2 bottles because it's that good. It's a spicy vanilla, super sticky and gooey with almondy touches. There's a little bit of an ashy smokiness, super musky as well. I find it to be super sexy. It's very long lasting. It does have that ambery effect, and sometimes it reminds me of tobacco vanille. The idea of tobacco vanille not necessarily smelling like tobacco vanille. I think the only thing that's similar in this fragrance to tobacco vanille is the vanilla, and that's basically it. There are warm spices in here, and because tobacco vanille is spicy and this is also spicy, but it kind of pretty much stops there. It's its own unique thing, and it smells amazing, really awesome. I can't stop wearing it. In fact, we featured it in our Scent Club kit. We sold out, and I do have a few laying around of the samples. I travel with it quite a bit because I just can't get enough of the way it smells. Garners compliments as well. It's an awesome scent, and if you haven't tried it, stay on guard. I will announce the arrival of the next batch of the Vanilla Mudslide. So I will turn on the video. Well, I'll basically have to shoot a new video air it. And once it sells out again, I will remove the video. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, one of my most worn fragrances lately, the one I always reach for is Vanilla Mudslide by BLDNDRGRPHY. Next up, going to the house of Serge Lutens. This is Fille and Aiguilles. Awesome scent. This is more of a classic. I can't remember the exact date of this. Is it the early 90s or the late 90s? It's been a while. So Fille and Aiguilles is one of the best offerings from the house of Serge Lutens. This is resinous and ambery, but also piney. There's the kind of aromatic, spicy greenness of pine note. There's also fruits and incense in there as well. One of the most unique concoctions. It's also quite comforting. It paints a picture of a cabin in the woods with snow outside. It's cold outside. It's warm. You've got a fireplace burning, but you're picking up the smell of the pine notes, and maybe you're like digging into some kind of a fruity dessert, because this is quite dried fruity. What an amazing smell. It's super intoxicatingly delicious, and one I can't get enough of. Definitely one of the best from the house, for sure. But there's also Fumari Turk. I had to decide which one I was going to feature here, but Fille and Aiguilles still, I think, is worn more in comparison to Fumari Turk. But as I mentioned recently, these bottles are no longer. This is a fragrance that's gone into the bell jar collection. So now it doesn't come with a sprayer. It's only the bell jar. But Fille and Aiguilles is, like I said, a masterpiece. It's one of the best fragrances ever created. Probably one of the best by Christopher Sheldrake. Next, going to the house of Maître Parfum at Gantier. It's Ambre Précieux. Another masterpiece. This one goes back to the 80s. It's an amber, resinous, spicy, and balsamic with some aromatic notes thrown in. Probably one of the first true amber-focused fragrances that relied on being an amber rather than the amber style with, a lot of other notes in there. Like I said, it's mostly resins and balsamic notes. Amber, there's spices, aromatics, and woods thrown in. It's also super duper long lasting, and I love the way it smells. It's just basically one of the best examples of amber in fragrances. Yeah, it might be a bit old school because it is a classic house from the 80s that launched in the 80s, but I think the smell never gets tired. Super awesome. What do you guys think? Ambre Précieux, are you a fan? And this is a more recent offering. This is from the house of this is from the house of Paris Monte Carlo. This is Vanille de Tahiti. And this is an Extrait de Parfum. Look how much I've used. I can't get enough of the way this smells. It is a bit daring to some folks, I think. I think it's a bit animalic. I don't think it's that animalic. Just imagine gooey, syrupy vanilla drizzled on white flowers like magnolia, champaka, ylang ylang, which is not necessarily a white flower, but a yellow floral note. So it's a bit tropical, but super big, bad floral with that syrupy, sticky, resinous vanilla amber thing happening all on top of the white flowers and the yellow flowers. Yeah, I think the flowers might be a bit too ripe, and I think the smell might come off a bit animalic to some folks, but I find this to be super delicious. One of the best from Paris Monte Carlo. I was obsessed with the Rose de Taif fragrance from this house. Now I'm obsessed with this one. I've kind of dumped Rose de Taif Extrait de Parfum. I still love it, but there's something about this that's just really intoxicatingly delicious. And the combination doesn't get super duper gourmand, but it kind of is. I absolutely love it. Really, really love this fragrance. And I keep reaching for it. Paris Monte Carlo's Vanille de Tahiti in the Extrait de Parfum. Just keep in mind, I'm talking about the Extrait de Parfum. There is an Eau de Parfum. I haven't really personally worn a lot of it. I much prefer the Extrait, by the way. And up next, going to the house of d'Orsay, this is Tonka Hysteria. This is Tonka focused. It's spicy and a little bit smoky, but it's sweet and sticky with the Tonka and resins. I think it's got myrrh as a note. It's definitely ambery. Lots of Tonka beans for sure, because it is an Tonka bean focused fragrance. And I like the peppery spiciness. There's a lot of pepper here, and it cuts through the sweetness quite a bit. Makes for a really, delicious combo. And I'm not the biggest fan of pepper in notes, in fragrances, I should say, pepper note in fragrances. But I'm starting to enjoy it. I mean, it contrasts really perfectly with sweet and sticky kind of ambery sweetness. It's a nice contrast, but very long lasting because it's an Extrait de Parfum. Really delicious offering. I've worn so much of this one. One of the best from 2024. Dorsey's Tonka Hysteria. Let me know your thoughts on Tonka Hysteria. Are you a fan? Have you worn it? Did you find out about it through our Scent Club kit? Now up next, going to the house of Trudon. It's 45 degrees. This has become a more recent discovery that I can't get enough of. It's like a magical smell. So it's a vanilla honey combo, but in the end, it's not super duper like heavy and cloying. There's something pulpy about it and a light bubblegummy effect happening as well. Oh my god, it's so delicious. And once again, it's it's a lot ambery. There's a slight chocolatey effect with it as well. But man, it's good. It's so yum. I mean, this thing rocks. It's very comforting because there is that kind of pulpy creaminess. Like it's like just imagine you're squeezing into a marshmallow, sweet and kind of bouncy, but it's kind of on the bright side and slight bit of bubblegum effect happening. There's a slight bit of like cacao dusting on it. Like it has a little bit of a cacao edge. Great name too, 45 degrees, although I would have expected 45 degrees. Well, yeah, maybe I was expecting something a lot warmer because it doesn't act very warm, but I think it's super awesome. Really, really great fragrance. I can't stop reaching for it because I just love the smell is addicting. And that's what usually these fragrances are, very addicting smells that I can't, stop reaching for. So the next one is Babycat from the house of YSL. I'm wondering if I should buy the new version, even though I think people have mentioned even I sampled it one time in London. I thought it was very similar. But this stuff is leathery and incensey and of course peppery spicy. So there's a lot of resins and leather. It's suede leather. And of course all the vanilla that's in here. This is very dry in comparison to some of the other fragrances I was mentioning. It's a little bit bitter as well. But I wouldn't call this a gourmand, but it's sweet spicy. More on the spicy, not so super duper sweet. But I think the DNA is really, really awesome, and I can't get enough of this one. One of the best DNAs ever created, I think, hands down. I think Dominique Ropion did a great job on that. All right, we're going to talk about another patchouli-focused fragrance. This is a very addicting patchouli fragrance. This is Al Jazeera's Patchouli, one that is super intoxicating and very, very sexy. A little bit of a sweaty spice as well. It's a patchouli fragrance created by Olivier Cresp. I'm almost finished with the bottle. I need to buy another bottle of this. And if you are a fan of L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme au Extrême, let's say those two fragrances, Angel and Lidge, which is what we used to call it. If you like those two together, that's what I have here. With a little bit of a autumnal experience and a little bit of slight sweaty spice from cumin, but man, amazing trail, very sexy, super duper earthy, and has a little bit of like an autumn dry experience. I've enjoyed Olivier Cresp's creations, and I think the original Angel for the Ladies is a masterpiece. That's the fragrance he'll be known for. Like Dominique Ropion will be known for Portrait of a Lady. Olivier Cresp will be known for Angel because it's such an iconic fragrance. But I can't believe he did this. Like he is inspired by Angel and then also Lidge from Guerlain, and the two together in one heavenly fragrance. Super awesome. Really, really great. Hopefully you guys can get your hands on this because it is a masterpiece, I think. It's not a chocolatey or chocolate cakey patchouli as much. It's more like a green leaning patchouli, but not very green. I'm just thinking of autumn, kind of dried leafy kind of dry patchouli. It's awesome. Stuff is amazing. Next, go into the house of Mise en Cire. It's For Your Love. Oh man, this is also very intoxicating, sexy sillage with this one. Great compliments come in. And it's the anti-Baccarat Rouge. It's kind of similar to Baccarat Rouge, but it doesn't smell like Baccarat Rouge. But still, it's molecular. It's a bit fruity with raspberry. It's got musky notes, and it's got earthy notes, like patchouli is in here as well. And then there's also like resins, like it does sweeten up and become a little ambery and to dry down. But great trail, really long lasting, super sexy, shines in the heat, but you can wear it all year round because it's pretty potent. It's a fragrance that Alberto Moria's created for his own brand called Mise en Cire. I mean, Alberto Moria's will always be known for Acqua di Gio, but I'm not a big fan of the original, although he's done some flankers. I think this is much better creation. Probably the best one from Mise en Cire. I mean, the brand has a few good ones. I recently discovered Legend Leather, which I really, really love. I found it at the discounters. I do have a video on the channel of Mise en Cire discounted fragrances if you guys want to check that video out. But I think For Your Love is awesome. One I can't stop reaching for. So For Your Love from Mise en Cire. Next up, Xerjoff Louis XV 1722, the Champagne Fougère. It's more than a Champagne Fougère, not so much champagne like the rosé version that came out last year. It's a bit less champagne. It's fizzy, but it's also very creamy in the dry down, and it's got the fougère vibes. I think there's sandalwood in the dry down. That's why it's giving me some creaminess. But yeah, there's some effervescence up top. I like that mixed with the lavender because that's kind of typical for fougère. Lavender is like key important for fougère fragrances. I discovered it at Neiman Marcus. As soon as I smelled it, like, okay, this is really, really great. I mean, there's a lot of fragrances that come out. A lot of them are okay, but sometimes ones that stop you and makes you, like think again and realize that you're smelling something that's super duper awesome. This is pricey, but it's also a Parfum concentration, so it's long lasting. And for a fougère, it's very, very modern. And also, it's unisex. I don't think it's super mass. I mean, I don't think it's targeted to men only. It's unisex, but I think it does lean masculine. Whereas the one that launched last year in the same collection, but it's the rosé version, it's a bit more feminine, and it does have rose and floral notes. But also that version, it's more like a rosé champagne. It does act more champagne to me than this one. This one is just really great creation. Although maybe by the time I do another one of these videos, their new one, Gibeon, will be mentioned. But Louis XV 1722 is so awesome. Check it out if you don't know it, because it smells super duper awesome, like I said. The next one is another Frederic Malle, and I'm obsessed with this one as well. Synthetic Jungle, Synthetic Nature. It's now called Synthetic Jungle. I'm sorry, it's now called Synthetic Nature. I have a backup bottle of Synthetic Nature as well that I bought highly discounted. So is there a difference between the two? No, there isn't. This is a very green fragrance, by the way. Green and a bit vegetal. It's the same. It's an Anne Flippo creation. Green floral notes, green stems. It's galbanum. I think there's lily of the valley. It does come off a bit like tomato leaves. There's a distant reminder of L'Ambre dans l'eau from Diptyque, but more vegetal, not rosy floral, because there's rose, and I believe there's cassis in L'Ambre dans. I think there's cassis in this one too, but I think there's no rose in Synthetic Nature or Synthetic Jungle, but the Diptyque L'Ambre dans l'eau has the rose. This one doesn't. But just imagine spring blooms, like vegetation just completely blooming, and the flowers and the stems are all like fragrancing your garden or something. It's also a bit humid. There's like a slight humidity. Even though it's quite fresh, there's a slight humidity in there. I think it's a masterpiece. Synthetic Jungle, Synthetic Nature from Frederic Malle. But look at this. This one doesn't have a sticker on the bottom. This one does. They constantly change things around. Next up, going to the house of Sospiro. It's Dolce Melodia. It's another one that I keep coming back to. I just love the way this smells. It's also long lasting for an EDP, and it's powdery, it's fruity, it's floral, it's ambery, woody. It's just very intoxicating. It's addicting smell. That's what these are. You just are addicted to the way they smell, and you keep wanting to wear them, which is what's going on with me. But this is probably the most popular fragrance from this house. Maybe Vibrato follows. Those two are probably definitely the most popular for sure. But this one I think just does it for me. This also garners compliments. People love it off of me. And sometimes fragrances have to mix with a body chemistry to really generate compliments. And I think this one does to do that. And you can kind of tell if a fragrance doesn't sit well with you. You'll know. And sometimes maybe this might not sit with you, but for me, it sits with me great. It smells great off of me. And it's very long lasting. That's what I like about it. So that is Dolce Melodia from the house of Sospiro. And then we've got a Nuit Nomade's Jardin de Misfa, another one that I keep coming back to. But you know what? They launched the extract almost 2 years ago, but I keep coming back to the EDP. I love the EDP quite a bit. I think it sits with me a little bit better than the extract, and normally I'm all about extracts. I think it's because I first started wearing this in the EDP and I just resonate with the EDP more than the denseness of the new extract. But for me, this is rosy, it's saffrony, it's almondy, it's delicious. There's a tartness about it. It smells great in the heat, even though it's an EDP. I think there's enough freshness in this to smell great in the heat. It smells fantastic. Really, really lovely. It's also a great house, one of my favorite French houses. There's a whole video on the channel I shot of French fragrance houses post 2012 that I've ranked in a top 20 list. So go check out that video. You'll see where this brand has landed. Definitely one of my favorite French houses though. And this is definitely my favorite from this house, and also one that I wear quite frequently or pull for. Then it's Born to Stand Out's Filthy Musk. Really obsessed with this one. Addicted to the way it smells. It also smells really, really great on skin and lasts a long, long time, which is what I like. It's sweet, spicy, boozy, fruity, and musky animalic. I think the way they've done this one, they have brushed over all of the animalic notes, but it shines on skin when you're wearing it. The sweetness kind of, disappears a little bit. And then, the animalics come through. And this is for the first time I'm smelling it. The animalics, I think there's civet in here. Does remind me a little bit of, just imagine churros drizzled with honey and amber and sticky fruits and booze. Because the animalics in here, I think there's the animalic note of scatol. It does remind me a little bit of churros. I'm not saying this smells like it. It's just the animalic portion of it. Because churros is animalic. It used to feature civet, and now I think it's synthetically recreated. And I think the animalic parts of Filthy Musk reminds me of churros a little bit, but an addicting fragrance. Really long-lasting for an eau de parfum as well. Next, it's Guerlain's Habit Rouge Parfum. Did you guys take advantage of the deals I had posted about this fragrance? I think it was around $120. Normally it's $200 for this suggested retail, so it was about $80 off. I mean, they've taken the original Habit Rouge next level awesomeness. Lots of boozy notes in this once again. There's a lot of patchouli and a lot of vanilla with the original DNA of Habit Rouge in here, but modernized. It does remind me a little bit of dress code, Habit Rouge dress code, but it's completely modern with that touch of classic thrown in there. Very long lasting, super duper addicting. I can't get enough of this one. I just want to keep wearing it. Because I am a fan of the original Habit Rouge quite a bit. I started out with the EDP, then I decided I really loved the lemony touch of the EDT. Then I was wearing the dress code version, and then I ended up buying the low version, which I think is completely gone. Both dress code is gone too. And then later I discovered the Rouge Privé, and then the Rouge Privé was limited edition, and then this launched. The trio of parfums from Guerlain for the guys. It's my favorite. It's also the strongest, I think, out of the bunch. It's awesome. Get yourself a bottle because it smells great. Very long lasting. It's boozy, earthy, vanillic take on Habit Rouge. And the last fragrance, Nichonet's Ambre Calabria. Oh man, this is so good. Just imagine taking Oolong Cha, if you're a fan of that, because I know there's a lot of fans of that, versus this one. Just imagine taking that, the greenness in that, throwing it in with vanilla and amber, and also galbanum, and you get this fragrance. So it's a fresh take on amber, a green take on amber. It's also a very original fragrance. Like, I haven't smelled fragrance like this before this and after this. Yeah, it's green. It's super duper green, but the amber and vanilla together is creamy. And there's some freshness from bergamot in there, which is also providing its citrusy green floralness. Oh man, it is one of the best. You can wear it in the summer because it's fresh, even though it's got amber vanillic touches in the base. And you can also wear it in the winter when it's cold because it's bright, and it's got that amber in the base, the amber vanilla in the base, so it adds a little bit of depth. But I think it's an all year round fragrance. Can be also a signature scent, but definitely I consider it a masterpiece, one of the best fragrances ever created. It smells super, super awesome. I hope they never discontinue this one because it's definitely one of my favorites. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So that's rounding out the 20 fragrances that I always reach for video. Do you guys want to see a part 2? Let me know. But for now, we are happy with this 20 because this is Definitely the stuff I keep wanting to wear over and over again. But let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Are any of these some of the fragrances that you always reach for? Add a comment below. And if there are others, give us a list. Let me know 5 perhaps that you are frequently reaching for. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. There's the link in the info box for this channel and also the shorts channel. Click the bell icon as well so you'll be notified for videos. And also give a thumbs up for this video to help with the algorithm. See you guys later. Bye-bye.